Welcome to ESI Insight. In this episode, I'm joined by Belvana Abeli, a portfolio manager for green economy at Wesgro. Welcome.
Thank you. You say my name so well.
Thank you so much. Tell us, how is the investment landscape changing to support the water efficient industries?
Yeah, so I think it's important for us to realize that, climate change and water resilience is central to sustainable economic development. But not just that, it's also an investment opportunity. So a lot of investors are starting to realize that water risk equals financial risk, and that there's actually money to be made in having innovative solutions to water security and water access. So the landscape is changing, that the investors, what they're focusing on is changing. So they're backing SMMEs that are offering water technologies, water saving technologies. But also the one thing that is of interest is public-private partnerships are kind of coming up a bit more, because we have an aging infrastructure problem in South Africa and in a lot of places in Africa. But then government doesn't have the resources and the funding to maintain and upgrade those infrastructures. So that's where you rely on private sector to bring the know-how, to bring the funds. And then there are models that are put in place and can be put in place to make sure that the resource remains within government, because it's constitutional, right? Access to water. But we need that boost. We need that funding. We need that know-how from private sector. And we need to work together with private sector to promote water efficient industries. And then you're also seeing an uptake in blended financing. So different funders are coming up with blended financing options to fund the water resilience and water access and security. But the one important one is also community involvement. So educating communities on how to save water and how to just actually reduce water use where necessary. And governments are also giving incentives for example, harvesting of rainwater to businesses. Businesses that harvest rainwater, they're giving incentives for that. And in the agricultural space is perhaps one of the most interesting ones, because agriculture is linked to food security, right? And agriculture is such a water intensive industry. But if we don't have water for agriculture, we don't have food, essentially. So the food-water nexus is quite important. So backing investments in technologies that are really driving the agricultural sector, making it water-wise, water-smart, is also something that is coming up quite a lot. But yeah, there's money to be made by being sustainable, and I think now investors are starting to look, because every investor is in it to make money. Businesses are in it to make money, but now that there is money to be made in the sustainability landscape, it's becoming a bit more appealing. So I'm hoping that all of that drives success in the industry, not just water, but the green economy as a whole.
What are we doing as a province to avoid another day zero?
The Western Cape and Cape Town are putting in place different interventions for water resilience. There are many, but I think I want to highlight one, which is the Cape Town Water Strategy, also known as the New Water Strategy, New Water Program. And the aim of that is to produce and get access to water from new sources. So the city aims to get water 300 million liters per day from new sources by 2030, but also aims to make the city of Cape Town water resilient by 2040. And there are different interventions under that, like groundwater harvesting, desalination, and a lot of other interventions, grey-water harvesting. So there's a lot happening. Lucky for the Western Cape, we are a province that did experience day zero. So we know what it's like. So we know how critical it is that we don't go back there. So putting in place all of those interventions and making sure we don't go back there, and we're coming from experience now. I'm not saying the rest of the country doesn't have experience, but I think we come from an experience point of view. We've been there, and we know what it feels like. So lots of interventions out there. But what I can say is that a lot is being done. A lot is being done. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You mentioned agriculture. Let's just take
Yeah.
it back to the sector. What are some of the measures that you're seeing around improving water efficiency in terms of irrigation and water use?
Yeah. Um, there's a lot happening in what they call the non-revenue water sources. So trying to put in to reduce leakage, for example, in making sure that there's enough water for agriculture, because it's critical, especially in the Western Cape, we're agriculture led.
Yeah.
Our economy depends on agriculture. So putting in place those measures to make sure that we don't run out of water for that is quite important. It's also a water intensive industry. So we also have to kind of put interventions in place to save water there as much as possible. But smart metering is one that is coming up. Smart irrigation, also the connection between solar PV and agriculture. So harnessing some of the energy from PV. So smart voltaics and agri-voltaics, as they call it, is something that is also quite famous, quite interesting going on at the moment.
Oh, Belvana, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching. Tune in for the next video. Have a powerful day.